When I heard you have cancer, time stopped still in frozen horror. I thought, wait, I cannot die. There is nobody to take care of my voice. It was never verbalized, but right then I knew we needed a miracle and a lot of help. You see, I have 3 boys. 3 boys that almost never were. After 13 years of marriage and 2 terribly emotionally and physically painful miscarriages, my husband and I were still trying to conceive. At least we enjoyed trying. And then, during a trip to Italy, I dreamt of my grandparents. I was standing in a spaceship launching pad and seeing them from behind somebody else's eyes. They were waving goodbye and just glowed with happiness and love. Their joy was palpable and overwhelming and stayed with me as I woke up. With impeccable mystical logic, I thought, I must be pregnant. That day, we went to see Michelangelo's David, and I wandered into one of the side galleries, a very long corridor. The first picture I saw was one of the Annunciation. Interesting. I moved to the next one, and it was the Annunciation. I turned around to look at the opposite wall, the Annunciation. The whole entire gallery was versions of the Annunciation. Okay, I get it. The baby was maybe 2 days old, but I was pregnant. Then came the ultrasounds. At 10 weeks, we saw 2 sacs and only 1 heartbeat. Bittersweet victory, at least there was one. At 20 weeks, we were told something was seriously wrong with the baby. We were given terrifying options. Either sticking a long needle through my newly bumped out belly to collect amniotic fluid and see if or which type of devastating chromosome issues he had, or straightforward abortion. So what does a rational, scientifically trained, newly minted mother-to-be do? She hangs on to a dream, of course. I did nothing. The thought that kept me going, those never-ending remaining months, was, los abuelos no hubieran estado tan contentos. My grandparents would not have been so happy. They just wouldn't have. Death was not an acceptable outcome. A few months later, my son was born, while I watched snow fall peacefully all day long. And my grandparents were right. He was perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, and so sunny. As a toddler on a lawn full of dandelions, he would say, "Mommy, look how many pretty little flowers." He still is full of light. Then came his brothers, like clockwork, 2 and 4 years later. Who knew? Old, fat, and fertile? Son number 2 is my thinker, the mini professor who explains exhibits to perfect strangers at museums, who will not take his ADHD medication because it might give him an unfair advantage over his peers. My third and last son, he is the charmer, who tells me, "Mommy, don't make me give you my cutie eyes." He's also the one without a memory of his dad. So, I'm at the doctor's office, a year after putting Dad on a plane back home for good. A full-time working, self-sufficient Latino mother of 3 boys, juggling it all and thinking I could just manage it completely alone, cancer included. Maybe? That was not an acceptable outcome. What to do? I did not know when we'd have the next chance to celebrate. So between my first and second chemo rounds, close to my birthday, I threw a party. Call me vain, but I still wanted to have some hair in the pictures. We had a birthday and a chemo cake, sang both songs, danced, and collected phone numbers. I learned really quickly to accept help. All kinds of amazing friends, old and new, came from in and out of town, even from abroad, to drive my kids, drop off food, stay overnight, and help with daily tasks, turn insurmountable from the exhaustion of chemo, multiple surgeries, and radiation. Those who couldn't come supported me from afar. I owe them so much. But I owe my life to my kids. I know I would not be here had they not been. "Mommy, you look like Yoda," they said, when I first shaved my head. "Because I'm so wise, it must be," I answered. "She's bald-headed, but we still love her," in whispers to a flight attendant en route to the beach right after the last chemo session. And, "Are you our daddy?" in the deepest southern accent to a plumber coming to fix a toilet. Fastest plumbing job ever. Sometimes they ask about death. That won't happen for a long time, I say. And I won't leave you alone even then. "How will you talk to us?" they ask. "I'll visit you in your dreams." "How will you do that?" "I don't know. I'll have to ask los abuelos, they know how." And I tell them that when that happens, they are going to be super old. Because you see, we did get our miracle. And for us, death is not an acceptable outcome. At least, not yet.